So this is the Death Project Manager, which is basically a workbook to help you get your life together, get your death together, really. So this is the printable version, the printed version, but they also have a digital version, which I am going to get a copy of, but at the moment, this is what I have. This was filled out before, so you're going to see some places where I whited out. I really should have filled this out with an erasable pen or with a pencil, because a lot of information has changed and things are going to change over time. But that's why I want to get a copy of the digital version, so that I can just basically change up the PDF instead of what I did before. The project manager, it's really helpful because it has all of these different questions that it asks, and it helps you put all of your information in one place, and then you can share it with friends and family. You can get a copy of the Death Project Manager at deathprojectmanager.com. It's actually got some it's decent paper. It's not like cheap printer paper, but one of the advantages of the PDF version would be that you can print it on any paper you want. You can also take it and have a digital copy and just share it around. So I kind of regret that I didn't buy that, but I'll buy it when I have the opportunity. The sections of the manager is, of course, the welcome section, an explanation of the workbook, some information before you begin, a form letter, key facts about you, key contacts in case of emergency, funeral invitation notification list, important documents, to-do lists for loved ones, social media and digital assets, pets, decisions to make, discussions to have, the funeral, and closing reflections. It's about 39 pages. So there's the welcome section, which just kind of breaks down, just talks about what the book is and why you would need the workbook. So you can see like the places where I've whited out. It'll be on a couple pages. So before we begin, it's basically a reflection that asks you a couple of questions. Why did you purchase this guide? Where do you want to focus your energy on this project? What memories do you relate to death? What do you want yourself to remember during this project? Just taking a minute to think about like why it is you even want to create this guide. Like, what is your purpose? Based on previous experience with death, what would you like to avoid in planning your legacy? And here is a form letter letting people know this document exists. So I always had the question of like, well, how would people know that this thing exists, that this manual they can use when I die is here? And here they give you a nice little letter that you can send out to everybody that everybody, you know, that needs to know, so that they can find this. And here's information about you. So your name, your gender, your birthplace, your marital status, contacts in case of emergencies. So your relatives, your children, if you have any. Information about your life insurance, your employer, your doctor, your clergy member, if you're religious, attorneys in charge of your estate. Just all the important facts that you're going to need. Here's funeral invitation notification. So a lot of space here for people that you want to invite to your funeral, and how to contact them, how to email them. Here's a nice little checklist for important documents to have together, which, you know, when people die, it can be rough. Like a lot of parents, grandparents, a lot of people just don't prepare. And the last thing you really want to do when grieving is to have to search through all this stuff, put all this paperwork together. So for me, I want to make sure that it's as easy as possible for people to find the information. about me and to find my insurance and everything. There's still a lot that I have to get together. Like, I don't currently have life insurance, and I have to put all this stuff together, but it's good to have a nice list for me to work on as I go through gathering up things that I wouldn't have even really thought of, like my passport, like my power of attorney, divorce paperwork. I'm not divorced, but child adoption paperwork, citizenship, diplomas. I wouldn't have thought about diplomas, deeds, all of that. And bills, paperwork, login information for all your different accounts. And here are different notes that you can leave. So I guess if you wanted to write down your login information, you can put it here. Charitable donations. Here's a section that is a to-do list for your loved ones. So contact the coroner's office, connect with local funeral homes. So like just a nice checklist for people who are dealing with your death, so that they don't have to put too much thought into it, which is really helpful. When you're grieving, you're probably not in the best state of mind, so it's nice to have a little checklist here. Cancel car insurance, rehome pets, all of that stuff. So here's for your social media. It just asks you questions. What level of privacy matters the most to you? What digital accounts do you currently have? Think about social media as well as email, electronic payments. Should any of the accounts be closed on your passing? Would you want social media accounts kept open when you die? Which is really interesting. The Facebook death pages. I don't know how many people actually think about, like, do I want my Facebook page to reflect that I'm dead, or my Instagram page, or would I just like it to be completely deleted? Should any of these accounts post a copy of your obituary? So, with the hopes that when you die, people will respect your wishes, whether you decide that you just want to die, you just kind of want to disappear off the internet, you don't really want a mourning page, or whether you do want a space for people to, pass their respects. And here's login information for different sites. Here's information about your pets. So your pet's name, medical conditions, the vet, birth year, all of that information. And here are some questions for you to have. Do you have any strongly held values or beliefs that would influence how medical decisions might be made? If you're incapacitated, who will make decisions on your behalf? Do they know this? So things for you to think about, but also things that might be important for the people who are taking care of you when you're incapacitated or when you die, to know like what sort of way that you would like them to take care of whatever, what sort of way you would like them to respect your wishes in death. Have you prepared a will? Have you completed durable medical power of attorney paperwork? And then the advanced care directives. So this is telling you about the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization. And there's a guide here. And if you work for like a federal job, a state job, a city job, a lot of those unions offer access to attorneys. So you can actually get free services to help you kind of arrange your death. When I had worked there briefly, I didn't really jump on that when I had the chance. But if I get another job like that, I'm definitely going to jump on it, because I was dealing with a whole bunch of other stuff. But it was on my list of things to do, get all of my death work together, paperwork together, get my will together, and just have everything set up. And this is for the funeral. When you think of yourself, what are the top 5 descriptions that come to mind? When your closest loved ones think of you, what are the top 5 ways they would describe you? Describe a time when you felt most joy. What is your favorite memory? What is your cherished possession and why? What is your motto? So things to get people thinking about the way that they're going to send you off. What types of things might be said at your funeral? How do you want to be remembered? How do you think you will be remembered? Just reflections, really coming face to face with death and what it is you want your final, your final send off to look like. Closing reflections. What have you gained from going through this process? So now you've gone through, you've written down all this stuff, you've gathered up your paperwork, and now you can reflect on the end. And then there are some final pages just for different notes. And this is information about the death project manager, information about Catherine, information about Amy Burrick, and Shoot Studio, where this was published. The Deaf Project Manager, I believe, is also connected to a larger project, which I think is only out in California. I haven't been able to find one in New York, but they have like meetings, monthly or weekly meetings. I'm not really sure if it's monthly or weekly, but where they come face to face with death. And for me, it's something that I do. Like, I'm not particularly afraid of death, but I am afraid of like dying and leaving a big, giant, catastrophic mess for my friends and family. So it's something that I do work on, trying to get these types of things together and make it simple. With this workbook, I had worked on it before, but a lot of information has changed. So I'm just going to have to start all over completely with the Death Project Manager, and also getting all of my stuff together, getting the life insurance together, getting, when I get another job, making sure to get my will, power of attorney, all that stuff together, so that no matter when I die, everything is taken care of. It's important to start thinking about that. I think you should start thinking about it from even a young age, having this type of stuff together, because you don't know when you're going to go, and just pretending as if it's not going to happen is just not, it's not the wave. We see what happens when people die, families start fighting, but it's like, maybe if you have all of your stuff documented and ready, you can avoid some of the wild stuff that can happen after people die. You can avoid some of the betrayals and the family infighting, because it's written right here. Here is what I wanted for my life. So I think the Deaf Project Manager is a really helpful resource, and I think that it's well made. It's very simple. I think that it has like a lot of questions that I didn't think of, and I love that it's useful not only to you, but it will also be useful to the people who have to deal with your body and deal with your legacy after you die. If you don't have access to like legal services, at the very least, this manager is a less expensive option to getting everything, to trying to make sure that you have a peaceful rest. I believe when I bought this was probably about $20, maybe $25. It might have been even less than that. I don't know what the price is now, but I think that it's a good investment. Even if you don't have access to like attorneys and things like that.